I'll take the first
So who
one.
do you listen to?
What you mean, music-wise?
No, like when you said like, you know, it's difficult because I can't imagine people tell me all the time to be in public office, and I'm just like, no, I don't even like y'all leaving comments telling me what to do on Instagram.
I think that you have to listen to your residents, right? The citizens, right? That, like, for me, I got elected in a different way than most mayors.
Tell us about it, because some of
the power structure had not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 other candidates they supported, not me, right? And I still won, and they still mad about it, big mad about it, which I love. But when you come into
the power structure that you're talking about? The reason why I'm stopping you is because a lot of people do not know how things happen. Yeah. They don't know what is impeding things. They don't know what's excelling things. And so I'm really trying to be more inquisitive.
It's a long way to explain this. But one, I think folks have to understand, Baltimore is the birthplace of redlining. One of my predecessors, Mayor Preston, right, who his street is named after in Baltimore for now. I'll get to that myself later. But passed the first redlining ordinance, and then it was taken around the country. So when National League of Cities is showing this map of cities of redlining, it starts with Baltimore and goes everywhere else.
Wow.
So when you think about that structural inequality, that structural racism, right? It started in my city, in the building that I work in, at the desk that I sit in every day, right? And when you take that and then you move into the 60s, the 70s, that kind of time period, and you think about the white business structure, right? And the investments and the influence that they have had over residents in Baltimore, and particularly mayors, right? And the power structure that it is, that we did a study a few years ago. I passed the equity law, right? So now we have to do capital budgets, all these things through a lens of equity. We found out that in Baltimore, it's like the Lion King, right? Simba, everything the light touches is ours, right? In Baltimore, it's like everything the water touches, you invest in. Everything else, forget about it.
Oh.
Don't touch it. And when you look at that map, and they call it the white L and the black butterfly in Baltimore, is what they call it.
The white L and the black butterfly.
Shout out to Dr. Lawrence, formerly of Morgan State, right? You can see that. And now what we're doing is doing the opposite. We're saying, no, we're going to invest in the opposite. We're going to go in neighborhoods where, they had closed rec centers. We're reopening them, and we're doing them there. And for people that understand the importance of that, they appreciate that. But for somebody who's used to never hearing the word no, right? No is a powerful word. If you never heard the word no, or you have to follow the process like everyone else, they're going to lose their minds.
Well, there's a 2-tier justice system.
Yeah, well, why do we have to do that? I mean, this will benefit everyone, but it hasn't, right? We've been doing this, right? We know with the definition.
The trickle down is not actually trickling.
It doesn't work, but also it's not even set up that way for if you investing in this neighborhood and not this one, that, like, and when people are like, I believe in equity, until we have to go, myself or my city administration go and say, like, you're not getting this anymore. We're like, what do you mean? Why do we not have to get it? Like, this is what this means in practice, right? These folks have to be focused on. So we know that that's going to be, but that's not just for me. That's for mayors like me around the country. Mayor Jones in St. Louis, Mayor Stoney, Mayor Whitfin from Birmingham, right? They're coming at all of us because they see, one, we're going to do the right thing, not the popular one. And two, we can't be bought.
Tell me what that means, that we can't be bought.
Can't be bought. Well, literally, you can't be bought. You can't. So for me in particular, like, they're used to being able to, like, wine and dine mayors and, in some cases, give them money, and people had to pay for that because they got caught. They forgot they wasn't white. That happens all the time. But they used to being able to say, like, oh, well, we can take you here. We can take you there. We can take you out to these restaurants. We can do all of that, right? Yeah. Well, for them, unfortunately, I don't drink. I don't eat meat, right? Like, oh, we can take you to the ball game.
So we can't take you to a steakhouse.
We can take you to a ball game and take you into a suite and all these other things. Like, well, actually, I hate skyboxes, even though I have one, right? As the mayor, I'd rather sit out there with the fans. So the things that they're used to doing, and the way that they were able to coax people into doing things that they want, or pushing them to the front, is because people built these false relationships. Like, these people were their friends.
Can I just make the point, though, that like, That was so, these are very basic things that they're doing. They're not even doing nothing real extra.
They make people, well, in some cases they are. They're giving people money, right?
Okay, because I was like, a steak dinner is all it takes to get a community
they're giving
center.
people money. They buy people.
I remember one time telling my mom, like, my friend said that she's going on a date because, she just wants the free meal. And my mom said, is that all your time is worth?
Yeah. But that's a real point, though. People don't get that, though. Like, some people can be bought that cheap, right? Because they want to feel like they're a part of the club, right? They want to feel like these people are their friends. And as someone who's been in City Hall since I was 23, like I tell the younger elected officials now, like, when your name no longer has a title on it, these folks are not going to answer your phone call.
Right.
But those people standing on that street corner who have known you your whole life, they're gonna still be able to, they're going to answer you. And you have to be able to, when you're done with, don't let this position consume who you are. You're there for a reason. You're there to work for the people. You're there to accomplish everything you can accomplish when you're there, right? And you have to understand, I infamously say all the time, you have to do the right thing, not the popular one, even if it hurts your election, even if it hurts your politics, right? And that's a scary thing for some people because they can't see past their life in their current role. Like I said after our first one, like if they come and get me 4 years, 8 years, whatever, oh well. But I've been able to done so much that they'll never be able to undo in that time, and that's what really matters.
How do you keep that legacy going once you get out of office? Because I feel like for a lot of folks, it's like, okay, I did my thing, skedaddle.
A couple of reasons, a couple of ways you do that. One, and I preach this, it's not just good enough to have it done while you're there. It has to be written in policy.
Okay.
Policy has to be there, right? Equity is the law in Baltimore because I passed it like through the city charter, right? Like to do that, they're going to have to convince the voters to undo that. And in a city that's 60% Black, God bless them, right? God bless. That's what you have to do. It has to be done in policy and in structure, right? Like they can't undo the fact that we've opened 6 brand new school buildings, that we've opened 5 rec centers, that we got 5 more. They're not going to be able to undo that work, right? That stuff is going to be there forever. Even it's hard for them when you started programs like the ones that we've started and expanded, like our violence intervention work or our 911 call diversion, where in a city that has Hopkins Hospital, right? Where we, of course, if we have the best hospital in the world, we can have people other than police officers responding to mental health things, right?
Why do you feel like that's necessary? This is an obvious answer, but I just want you to say it.
Why do I feel like it's necessary? Because you put circles on circles and you put triangles on triangles, right? We don't train police officers to deal with substance abuse and mental health. Why should they be the ones responding out there to it? And in fact, for me, the irony of it, the first person to highlight it for me, other than folks in the mental health space, is a guy, he's former retired major from Baltimore Police, Lloyd Wells, right? He actually now trains other cities on how to do that work through consent decrees and others. He was the major where Hopkins is, and he came to me, I was a council person, he said, Brandon, this is stupid. Why am I sending my officers out to answer a mental health call 5 feet away from the best hospital in the world? Makes no sense.
Right.
And now it's about those systems changing and building up that. It's going to be hard for them to undo that because now folks are used to being able to pick the phone up and call 911 and getting a different response in certain cases. That's what you have to do. You have to do things that will last longer than you're going to be in elected office. That's the most important advice I can give to anybody in elected office. It's not just good enough when you're there. It has to be gone. And you have to do things that you won't benefit from, that they'll be like 30 years later, like, wow, this is how long ago they started this and now it's starting to pay off. And that's hard for some people. You have to break through the ego and all of that stuff to get to that.
Strategery.
Yeah. It's not about them, right? I'm paying the bills for people that were mayor when I was 5 years old. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Right. It frustrates me. Sometimes one of them, I infamously want to go and dig them up sometimes, but that's the reality.
Wait. All right. So y'all know how it works. We're going to go to the Patreon to answer some questions. A little bonus section with the mayor right here. Okay. The people have spoken. So if you want to hear what the people are saying and what he got to say to the people, head on over to theamandaverse.com. I recently saw a post quoting a survey where Baltimore was listed as one of the top 7 cities where African Americans were doing well. Look at you, Susie Blue.